Okay.
Let's talk about 104 million.
Liberia is a small country in West Africa, as you know, and like a lot of small countries, they print their money abroad and then they ship it into the country. It's just cheaper to do it that way. So at some point last year, the Central Bank of Liberia ordered up 16 billion Liberian dollars to be printed and shipped to Liberia. 16 billion Liberian dollars is about 104 million US dollars. So they put that money in canvas bags. They put it in 20-foot tall sealed containers. It entered Liberia. It cleared customs sometime late last year, earlier this year, and then it vanished. $104 million. Poof.
Wow.
Now, when we're talking about U.S.-China trade, 104 million may not sound like a lot of money.
Oh, but in Liberia, it's
that's
huge.
5% of GDP. Yeah. This is one bank heist big enough to affect the inflation rate in that country.
Holy smokes, 29.
29. Japan is a country that has been traditionally resistant to welcoming immigrants for reasons political
and needs help. In Liberia, the journalist who broke the news about the millions of dollars gone missing says his life is being threatened. Philip Burt Brown, while speaking to local media, says he has had to get police protection after he and his staff had received several calls from strange people who threatened to kill him. Meanwhile, citizens have been reacting to the news as the government has ordered an investigation into the disappearance.
So, hey, Brother Sila, Ambassador, Assalamu alaikum. Okay, that's probably not going to work.
We're forgetting that we need each other. We're forgetting that we need to look out for each other. We're forgetting that except the least of us is taken care of, that the best of us cannot survive. We're forgetting that it's one world and it's a very small world. I've traveled across all the continents and I can tell you, we need each other. It's such a small world that if we don't learn to love and respect ourselves and forget those things that we think are important but are actually unimportant, and if we do not have the courage to speak up when we should, then we set every one of us up for trouble. Take a child from every local environment in this world, no matter their tribe, the color of their skin, their language, or where they come from. Put them all in one room, and you would find them as a team, playing together, supporting each other, except you teach them otherwise. They will work together to solve every problem that you give to them. That's what we need to be. We need to go back to being children of the world again.
This country is time for education. It's about what the Liberian people need. Our needs and wants. The leader that can provide for all the best praise, look at your homes, look at your villages. You are living in huts. If book and English can develop country, Liberia is supposed to be the best country in the world.
If you want to, in a sense, eliminate corruption in a society, and we all want to eliminate corruption in a society, the most effective way to do it is to make sure you don't punish people at the bottom, you punish people at the top. I'll tell you one story. In the 1960s, when Singapore was a very poor country then, our per capita income was 500. A government minister was invited by a businessman to go on holiday. Just on holiday. No bride. He and his family went on holiday with a businessman. He came back. He was arrested, charged, went to jail. After that, no more corruption. Because it's a very powerful signal that is sent when you go after someone at the top. So Singapore's experience, and it's actually quite remarkable how you have almost zero corruption in Singapore, is because we decided that the example must come from the top.
IMF, World Bank, all other institutions, they make African countries jump through hoops. Loans will never be able to pay. The US, when they borrow money, they're getting it in 1.5, 1.9 interest rate. Africans, when they get the same amount of money, they're paying 9, 10%. The people who don't need a break, they get a break. The ones who need a break, they don't get a break. The sheer survival of the World Bank, IMF, is based on the fact that African countries and many other developing countries do not succeed. Their success is based on our failure. That has to change. And guess who can make that change? We, the children of Africa, we, the Africans, are the ones who have to say, we know your game now. Enough is enough. We're not playing it anymore. And this is where the diaspora come in. There are more Ghanaian doctors in New York City than in the entire country of Ghana. There are more Nigerian doctors in LA than in the entire country of Nigeria. So let's be serious here. What Africa needs is capacity, capacity, capacity. And that capacity is in the diaspora. So it behooves us to bring the diaspora together. Let them understand what is really going on in our Africa. Diaspora are not going home. Diaspora are angry about Africa because they are not understanding the root cause of why Africa is where it is today. They think getting rid of a president will take care of the problem. Far from it. That president is just going to be replaced by another one who's going to...
Let's talk about 104 million.
Liberia is a small country in West Africa, as you know, and like a lot of small countries, they print their money abroad and then they ship it into the country. It's just cheaper to do it that way. So at some point last year, the Central Bank of Liberia ordered up 16 billion Liberian dollars to be printed and shipped to Liberia. 16 billion Liberian dollars is about 104 million US dollars. So they put that money in canvas bags. They put it in 20-foot tall sealed containers. It entered Liberia. It cleared customs sometime late last year, earlier this year, and then it vanished. $104 million. Poof.
Wow.
Now, when we're talking about U.S.-China,
we're forgetting that we need each other.
All right. So, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good night, as a matter of fact, depending, of course, where you find yourselves. I'm a little behind time. I mean, not behind time officially. We had announced that we had scheduled a show to begin exactly at 3 p.m. Central Minnesota time. It is 3:01, so I've been here at least 10, 15 minutes ago now. I still think I'm behind time because I had some housekeeping issues, at least in mind, to talk about before the commencement of the official program, right? I was going to talk about, if nothing else, of all things, the biggest Mandingo party in Philadelphia last night since COVID-19. So I wanted to talk about that briefly. Not that I like to, but I have reasons to talk about it, considering that about 17, if not 18, at least I know 17 for sure, 17 people have forwarded those videos to me, the videos recorded at the Mandingo social event last night in Philadelphia. Some of them didn't just comment forward the video to me. Some sent it to me with some derogatory comments, and some sent it with some other issues that they lifted. I wanted to touch a little bit before we get into today's discussion, but I don't have the luxury of time now because it's past 3 p.m. and so I don't have the time that I wanted to talk about that video, that Philadelphia event last night. On one end, it was a great success by all account. The social aspect of it. On the other hand, the organizers had other goals, other objectives that they wanted to accomplish, and fortunately, we've learned, still learning that those were the biggest disappointments in recent time. But again, I don't have the time right now. I wish to talk about it. I love to, because I've heard from so many people. I've heard from a lot of people who themselves attended the event. I also heard from people who did not go to the event. But first, I got conflicting accounts as to what obtained, what unfolded last night, and like I said, the video has been different angles of the activities, the gatherings. So it's been forwarded to me at least 17 times. And some of the people who sent the video to me, raised some issues that I think is that are worth talking about. But then again, I don't have the time. I wanted to be here at least 30, 40 minutes before 3 p.m. so we lift that conversation up and talk about it and talk about what went right, what went wrong. And look, there's two sides to everything, like it or not. They gave you a ticket. I mean, there's two sides to every coin, right? So, and more besides, our opinions are what they are. We are all entitled to our opinions. You got to respect that. You don't like a man, you don't have to like a man to respect, his opinion. You don't have to agree or disagree to respect someone's opinion. So to those of you who have forwarded, the Philadelphia biggest social gathering, videos to me since COVID-19, if I may add, I appreciate it. And those of you who've been so condescending about it, trying to make issues like, well, we told you so. What did you tell me? So, but I really want to talk about it, but so bad, I don't want to get started. And then my guest who is just about to join me in studio, in presence of Brother Mohamed Manssalay, Manding Jallah, who has got other issues of his own to talk about, and I promised him to give him today's show. So I don't want to get started and get interrupted about that. Notwithstanding, I think we'll be in a better position to talk about it next week anyway, considering that next week I received requests from a couple of folks who want to be hosted. One of them is a young, emerging, very intelligent community politicians, I like to call them, in presence of Brother Amara Sayante Kamara, who wants to be the next president for Kwadu Boni Mandingo Association in the US of A. So I've gotten a formal request for him to have him on the show sometime next week. So and there's another person there. So I think if we can't talk about it today, I'd be glad to talk about it next week. Certainly. In fact, by then I'll probably be in better position because by then I would have completed watching all of the most of the videos that you sent me. And those of you who have made phone calls to speak to some of the issues that you thought went well, and some of the issues that you thought didn't go so well, including some other issues when it comes to FEMUSA, as an organization. Those of you who have shared ideas with me about that, make no mistakes. I'm not ignoring you. I will talk about them, inshallah. When we come back next week, we'll find time to talk about them. In the meantime, what's his name? Brother Mohamed Manssalay, he should be here now because I just checked with him. I like to do that. I like to do a last minute check with my folks before we come on the show, before I get started, so that way we are all on the same page. So Manssalay has got lots of things to talk about. I don't know a whole lot about him other than the few, bits and pieces I've heard from folks. I know he's been very much involved, in any issue or issues concerning affecting the Mandingo community as a whole, globally, regardless of where it's taking place. And so he talked about, let me see my phone, the issues that he want to talk about. Quite frankly, some of them seem a little bit belated to me. I honestly don't know why he wants to talk about some of these issues today, when in my opinion, these issues are past, long gone, and I'm not saying they are going to mean that they've been solved. There are problems that still exist within the Liberian society, but I don't know why talking about them today, for instance, why is that relevant? But no, we made a promise, we made a commitment that we would afford our platform to anyone who wants it. Once we do our initial, interview with you, a phone conversation, and you are able to give us reasons to believe that you have something to offer, our community means the Mandingo community, the Muslim community, the Liberian community, humanity as a whole. As once we find out that you got something to offer, we will avail our platform to you. You can come and make yourself look like an idiot if you like, or you can come and make yourself look like a shining star. We'll give you the platform. And so we gracefully honor the request by Mr. Manssalay, Keita, Manding Jallah, aka, to come on the platform. So he should be here shortly. So among the things he wants to talk about, he told me, he was, for instance, these are the issues that are a little bit related. So he said he wants to talk about the burning of the mosque in Nimba County, 2002. Now, please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying because it happened in 2002, therefore it can't be talked about today. But quite frankly, I like to know from him. I want to find out why is that conversation relevant to today's reality. Why are we bringing it up now? I'm not saying it should never be talked about. Be talked about again. But so many things happening in the present, current events, so many issues trending. To go back all the way to 2002 to live the story, I don't know. I don't see the wisdom in it, but I'm told the man is a very wise man, very intelligent, highly educated. So hopefully you, the viewers, and myself can both learn from him, when he makes his way to the studio. He also want to talk about the burning of a mosque in Bazanwi, in Lofa County, in the same year, and then the information. He said that he's the chairman for the Concerned Mandingo, what is that? The formation of the Concerned Mandingo Society and protests against the presence, harassment of Mandingo, including the Iraq War, doing the Judy Bryant. You see that? You see what I meant by, some of them seem a little bit later. Judy Bryant, for God's sake, we filed multiple democratic elections in Liberia. Notwithstanding, despite the fact that I may have my own disagreement with it, but I respect the man's opinion. You heard me say that many times. So it's not for me to decide what you should talk about. It's not for me to decide what is relevant or what's not. I would advise sometime though. Sometimes I'll give you my 2 cents advice as to what we ought to be talking about in today's reality. But if you are with the opinion that we ought to talk about these things as far back as they may have occurred, then please, by all account, let me know, be my guest, and we will talk about it. We'll give you the platform. We'll see who is interested. Now, now, mind you, I know now from experience, ever since we transitioned from LDF, old-fashioned LDF / teleconference to this latest one, the social media, the visual, the Facebook Live, YouTube Live. It's been a different ball game for us in the sense that we don't have the luxury. We don't have the luxury that the likes of Costa has, or maybe even Prophet Key, or many other folks, that I can't name all here. The luxury that they have, which is that the luxury of having hundreds, if not thousands, of people on the show live as it's taking place. We don't have that luxury, and we don't wait for that. So it's been our experience that when we come on the show, oftentimes, in fact, there are people who really want to be a part, who really want to come on the show to see what is it which we are talking about, what is it we are doing. But for reasons best known to themselves, they rather not come right when we are on the show, but they will choose to come after the show. They'll choose to watch the video and then make all of the comments, as they see fit. So that's fine too. We are used to that. And I know this for fact because I know since our return to the airwaves, the fresh show we had, give or take, doing our fresh show, we had no more than 30 people on the show, which was very, heartbreaking, given the history, the record of LDF that I know. But then I understand that because, again, I said doing that fresh show that the show business is so competitive now. If you are gone for a day, you lose audience, let alone a week, month, or months. And we have been out of the show business for months, if not at least a year or so. So it is quite understandable that some of our loyal followers have found other places to go, have found other shows that they are interested in, and so their return may be a gradual process. But I know immediately when that show concluded, within an hour or less, 500 people are going to look at it. You see? So that tells me there are people who are still, interested, but some of them just wouldn't come on live, for reasons that I do not know. But that's fine, whatever works for you. We live in the West, some of us, not everyone. And wherever you live, we all have different time, as far as day and night, as far as our work schedule, family schedule. So it is not expected that, everyone will be on a live show every time. That's not realistic. And we don't think that, we don't expect that. So you watch the show whenever you want, whenever you have time, watch the podcast, the video when we are all done and out of here. That's fine by me too. So in fact, it is so okay by me to the extent that I don't sit down on the show waiting for people that I don't expect, that have made no promise to me that they're going to be coming anyway. Why would I wait for anyone who hasn't promised me they're going to come? So I just come here and do my thing and do the show. And I'm the first to tell all of my, would-be guest days. Every time a request is sent to me to host people, I let them know right off the bat that, look, this is what we have going on. LDF, to some extent, it's a household name. We can agree or disagree, but LDF is one of the longest diaspora talk shows here in the US of A. So no matter how long, we abandon the platform, the microphone, when we come back, somehow we still have, a platform to stand on. And so we want to take advantage of that. That's what we continue to do. UP, Unity Party, USA, Canada chairperson in terms of Capet Dwyer, who happens to be right in Minnesota, should be our guest sometimes in the very near future here. He's going to come and want to talk about, obviously, national politics, the Unity Party, 2023 election, CPP, current events in Liberia, including the coronavirus thing that I talked about last week. The coronavirus, Eugene Fagon dismissed for saying the right thing, by the way. You don't have to like someone to acknowledge whenever they do good or they say good stuff. So I think this time around, Eugene Fagon, I think he was gone after for the very wrong reason. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree. So, but yeah, so that's what that's what we've been doing. And then when brother, what's his name, brother Manssalay, Manding Jallah, aka join us. I'm quite surprised he hasn't yet. So he said he also wants to talk about early second term, the denial of Mandingo to register as voters, the denial of Dr. Hassan Kone, I think it was Conte, right? Dr. Hassan Kone by some Liberians from becoming president of the University of Liberia in 2003. The controversial issue, the demand for Liberia to become a Christian state, and many more to come, he wrote. I'm reading brother, what's his name, brother Mohamed Manssalay, aka Manding Jallah's, communication to me. So you know some of the things that you'll be diving into. So if you're just joining us, well, I want to thank you for doing so. And I also do want to let you know that we are broadcasting not just through Facebook Live, but we are very much, live on what is it called, on YouTube as well. So if you go on YouTube, on the Liberian Diaspora Forum, you should be able to see us there live, just as you would otherwise on Facebook. So that's where that's where we are, and that's where we intend to do this afternoon. Hopefully, our brother and friend, our community servant, will join us here, so that we can have this conversation. So let me do a quick adjustment here, so I can reach to him again and see why is it.
Let's talk about 104 million.
Liberia is a small country in West Africa, as you know, and like a lot of small countries, they print their money abroad and then they ship it into the country. It's just cheaper to do it that way. So at some point last year, the Central Bank of Liberia ordered up 16 billion Liberian dollars to be printed and shipped to Liberia. 16 billion Liberian dollars is about 104 million US dollars. So they put that money in canvas bags. They put it in 20-foot tall sealed containers. It entered Liberia. It cleared customs sometime late last year, earlier this year, and then it vanished. $104 million. Poof.
Wow.
Now, when we're talking about U.S.-China trade, 104 million may not sound like a lot of money.
Oh, but in Liberia, it's
that's
huge.
5% of GDP.
If you want to, in a sense, eliminate corruption in a society, and we all want to eliminate corruption in a society, the most effective way to do it is to make sure you don't punish people at the bottom, you punish people at the top. I'll tell you one story. In the 1960s, when Singapore was a very poor country then, our per capita income was 500. A government minister was invited by a businessman to go on holiday. Just on holiday. No bride. He and his family went on holiday with a businessman. He came back. He was arrested, charged, went to jail. After that, no more corruption. Because it's a very powerful signal that is sent when you go after someone at the top. So Singapore's experience, and it's actually quite remarkable how you have almost zero corruption in Singapore, is because we decided that the example must come from the top.
Whoa.
This country is not about education. It's about what the Liberian people need. Our needs and wants. The leader that can provide all the best praise, look at your homes, look at your villages. You are living in huts. If book and English can develop country, Liberia is supposed to be the best country in the world.
True.
IMF, World Bank, all other institutions, they make African countries jump through hoops. Loans will never be able to pay. The US, when they borrow money, they're getting it in 1.5, 1.9 interest rate. Africans, when they get the same amount of money, they're paying 9, 10%. The people who don't need a break, they get a break. The ones who need a break, they don't get a break. The sheer survival of the World Bank, IMF, is based on the fact that African countries and many other developing countries do not succeed. Their success is based on our failure. That has to change. And guess who can make that change? We, the children of Africa, we, the Africans, are the ones who have to say, we know your game now. Enough is enough. We're not playing it anymore. And this is where the diaspora come in. There are more Ghanaian doctors in New York City than in the entire country of Ghana. There are more Nigerian doctors in LA than in the entire country of Nigeria. So let's be serious here. What Africa needs is capacity, capacity, capacity. And that capacity is in the diaspora. So it behooves us to bring the diaspora together. Let them understand what is really going on in our Africa. Diaspora are not going home. Diaspora are angry about Africa because they are not understanding the root cause of why Africa is where it is today. They think getting rid of a president will take care of the problem. Far from it. That president is just going to be replaced by another one who is going to equally suffer from the same difficult environment to work in. So let's look at an Africa that must be free to take care of herself, an Africa that's free from exploitation from outsiders. The multinationals who are stealing from Africa every day in broad daylight. I use an example of the DRC. If you ever fly very low over the DRC, you'll see tarmacs in the jungle. You'll see 747s flying into DRC, picking up minerals and flying right out. The same multinationals are responsible for arming young people and giving them MK-16s. Because why? Their satellites in the skies are telling them where that village is. There are lots of diamonds. So what do? Arm young people, drag them up, and send them to go chop off a few heads. The rest of the village runs away, so they come behind and do their illegal mining. We black people must understand what is really going on. Because what we are shown instead is, oh, look at those Africans killing each other. There are some serious games that have been played in Africa for far too long. And once we understand that, we can strategize as to how we can begin to bring the difference and bring the change that Africa needs. And that change can only come if the African diaspora are united. And the Wakanda villages, as I call them, it is our organized way of saying, starting with one African diaspora center of excellence, it will be a new city, a developmental hub that we can then take from there. Every sector is developed. Take healthcare. How many doctors do we need in this region to take care of this many people? We pick up education, same thing. We pick up engineering. We pick up electricity. How many megawatts of power do we have in the region? How many do we need? Be it solar, be it wind, be it hydro, be it geothermal, be it nuclear.
So true.
We're forgetting that we need each other. We're forgetting that we need to look out for each other. We're forgetting that except the least of us is taken care of, that the best of us cannot survive. We're forgetting that it's one world and it's a very small world. I've traveled across all the continents and I can tell you, we need each other. It's such a small world that if we don't learn to love and respect ourselves and forget those things that we think are important but are actually unimportant, and if we do not have the courage to speak up when we should, then we set every one of us up for trouble. Take a child from every local environment in this world, no matter their tribe, the color of their skin, their language, or where they come from. Put them all in one room, and you would find them as a team, playing together, supporting each other, except you teach them otherwise. They will work together to solve every problem that you give to them. That's what we need to be. We need to go back to being children of the world.
All right, folks, the updates I have for you is that now Manding Jallah, Brother Mohamed Manssalay, aka Manding Jallah, who is our expected guest, I need not tell you he's in Liberia. He's going to be joining our studio from live from Monrovia, the Republic of Liberia. As a matter of fact, that's why I have Liberia, picture right behind me, just out of some courtesy to where he's calling from. So I just called him to find out why he's 25 minutes behind time, even though I had called him 15 minutes before the start of the show. So, but he said he's struggling to come in, and that is understandable, right? Technology is not the same for all of us. We have a different approach to it. Some of us understand it better than others. Not to mention the internet. The internet thing is not the same everywhere. Certainly not. It's not what it is here. It's not in Liberia. How do I want to say this? It's different here than it is in Liberia. I think that's what I was looking for. So he tells me that he's seriously working on it, giving it his best effort, to come through the link that I provided him so he can join studio live, so that he can not only hear from the man, but also see the man himself. Now, my only fear is that, I think he's cut into our time so much, considering that this is Minnesota and this is summertime. The same reason that got so many people out and about in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania last night. I mean, the warm weather, the freedom from the boredom of COVID, the love of pleasure, the love of socializing. It's all over. It's all over in the diaspora, in the U.S. in particular. And Minnesota is no exception. So one of my friends told me recently that, in fact, Minnesota is considered by some of our people outside Minnesota as the state of barbecue, because we have more barbecues in Minnesota. Somebody told me than anywhere else in America. Everybody he called, they got barbecue. Every time throughout summer, there's one barbecue or another. And so today is no exception. There's a barbecue today. Not to mention, myself do have a meeting to attend, in a little later here, exactly 5 o'clock. That's why I try to be on time. I try to be punctual, in fact, I'm always before time. I try to beat my time. This has become a hobby for me now, both in my business dealings and in my personal life, private life, if you wish to call it, to the extent that when I set my alarm to wake up 12 o'clock, it's almost guaranteed I'll be up 11:45. So I always beat my alarm up. I don't know how, but it just happened. My alarm is always late. I set the alarm up just as a safety net, safety guard, just in case. But I can't tell the last time my alarm woke me up. No, I always woke up before the alarm. And so it's the same for work, for the show. So we're supposed to be here 3, and I made sure to be here at least by 2:15. I started the setup. I had to get the studio set up, and all that. That's what happens when you have kids running around. Yeah? When you're a family man trying to maintain a studio in your house, it's not, you don't leave things in position. You assemble and disassemble them. I think many of us can relate to that. I'm sure Akeem can relate to that, except for the fact that now that he has a big mansion, he probably has a room, that's secure, where he doesn't have to take down his equipment every time. But I'm sure my Uncle Leo can also relate to it. You do have to, assemble and dismantle stuff to get them out of the case way. So when they come down to do their own show, they're a very different show, different from what we have in here. So they have enough room to do that, and so that they don't damage your equipment as well. So I was here at 2:15. I got set up and I started. And so my guess, I'm sure maybe we should have done a test, communication. That's a good thing we used to do before. I haven't done that lately since my return. But from his experience now, that's something that I would definitely go back to make sure that we test communication, how to come on the show with would-be guests, feature guests, and before the time itself, so that way we can save ourselves some headache, so that way we are not, behind time. So, but again, I do apologize, and now it makes me wonder, maybe I should have talked about the party, the social gathering, the party, the dance, the beautiful bazaars that we saw, that were won last night, that I've seen through the videos, the many videos that some of you have sent to me. They are great videos They are now without flaws, just as the event itself. It was, for anyone to think it was flawless, that person got to be living on different planets. It was everything but flawless. If anything, it was the opposite. It was packed with lots of flaws. I can't wait to talk about them. Like I said, next week, please give me next week. And by then, like I said, I would have, okay, our guest just joined. All right, our guest is finally here. And like I said, we, Brother Manssalay?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. I'm doing great. So, like I said, the event, like every other event, they have their, ups and downs. And so was the event last night. And also, looking at a few videos I've seen so far, it gave me a different take on this whole FEMUSA debate. That next week, when I talk about this conversation, I'll give you a different idea as to how this FEMUSA thing is trending. But enough of that. I was just trying to keep you entertained while we are with our guest who is with us. Mr. Cage, Mr. Manssalay, your background is so dark we can barely see. You got any more lights? Or that's Liberia, huh?
Yeah, that's exactly Liberia, because as we go through the process right now, the current just went off. I have to tell the guys to put the generator on.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, well, that's Liberia. I was just saying that. I said, technology is not the same everywhere. Internet is not the same everywhere, and so we are privileged to be where we are, but we know our motherland. We know our home country. We know what can happen there. So, well, welcome. I'm delighted. I'm very glad that you made it in Liberia. There's a common saying that it's better late than never. And so you arrived. Together, we are 33 minutes late by hand time. Notwithstanding, we are delighted you came. We'll make use of the remaining time we have together because we have other events to attend. So, but I don't know how come you don't have current, because I'm in Monrovia. See behind me. I'm sitting right on Benson Street, Snapper here. I got current. Do you
That's beautiful. I'm as far as in Johnsonville, and I get current, and then the current just went off, and that's how. Yeah, okay. But they went to put the generator on anyway.
Okay, brother. Thank you. That's fine. I appreciate it. So, good afternoon. Greetings to each and every one of you who are here now or who will come here after to watch the video. I spoke to that earlier, that's becoming the new trend for some of us. Immediately when the show is done, you have more people jumping on the video thereafter than when the show is ongoing. That's understandable because of time difference, different work schedules, family schedule. There are lots of activities taking place. It's summertime in America. If you are in America, there are a lot of graduations taking place. I myself got a meeting to go to right after here. There's a barbecue, barbecues, not just one. I'll see how many of you I can make it to. So that's fine. The video will be here. Come back at any time and watch it here after. Would appreciate that. In the meantime, help us to share the video. The few of you that are here, please share the video. Because we're going to have a great conversation here with a very knowledgeable, well-respected, and a brother who stands for a Mandingo cause, at all level. Everywhere there's injustice melted against a Mandingo, a Muslim, a human being for that matter. Oh, this is not good. So the man, he just left studio. Okay, he's coming back. So, okay, he's back. Okay, well, it looks like he got a trick to come back. So let me stop wasting time so we can go right to the brother Manssalay. Greetings to you. Usually, I start my show with the Liberia national anthem, and I've done so. Why? Because it was 3 o'clock. So I went through the national anthem. I went through a couple of videos just to keep the folks entertained. We've done all of that. So the only thing we're waiting for was you, and there you are. So I want to say greetings to you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon you and to all of you that are here now or will be here later. So good evening to you, brother Keita, brother Mohamed MJ Manssalay.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm delighted, and it's a pleasure for me to be on your show tonight. And for our time, it's like after 36 minutes after 8, and I'm so happy to be here. And then say peace to the listening audience.
Okay. Hello? We are listening.
I say I'm so delighted. I'm so glad to be here.
Okay.
Although you say right now it's better late than never.
Right.
At least we try to be here, and we are on the show to inform our people whatsoever little information and idea we have, so that we can share with them and also learn from them too.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So that's a very brief intro. But in fact, I have hosted guests in the past that I've told you they are guests who did not need any introduction, for the simple fact that they were more known, they were more popular than the show itself. I've said this many times. Those of you who have followed me over the years, you heard me say this, whether it was with Dr. Sawyer coming or whether it was Joy Howard Taylor, Speaker Tyler, Dim Salinsa Diba. All those people made their appearances on LDF in years past. I told you. So in my opinion, Brother Mohamed Manssalay, aka Manding Jallah, does not need any introduction. Certainly not from me, because you know him better than you know me. You know him better than you know the show. And so that being said, we'll just go right into the matter. Brother Manssalay, before you came on the show, I was actually reading out the message you sent me, the little communication you sent me as far as the things that you want to talk about. And I was reading them out, so just as part of my strategy to keep the show going, since I'd already started a live show, I didn't want to leave that. So, but I said to folks that some of the issues, in my opinion, seem a little bit belated, considering the fact that, the Song Happy back in 2002, talking about Judy Bryant government, alien government, when we are here now today in President Weah's government, in different time, different era, notwithstanding, just because it happened years ago or even decades ago, that does not take anything away from the relevance of it, or does it? Why do you want to talk about, for instance, the issue of burning mosques in Nimba County in 2002 and burning mosques in Bazawin in Lofa County? So what happened? What led to those? What has happened since then? But most importantly, why do you want to talk about that even today in 2021?
Today to today, and we'll be moving forward to tomorrow. So, I mean, our youth that are coming after, let them understand and know some of the contribution we made and how was this thing done, so that they will be able to prepare themselves for the future. Yeah, it's not only that. When we formed the Concerned Muslim Youth, then President Taylor was the president of the Republic of Liberia. We have a demonstration in time here, and I was the chairman of the Concerned Muslim Youth, and we said, no, the people that bring the mosque in Badawin and the Zogia district should be brought to justice. They should be investigated, no matter what happened, because Liberia is a state. It's a secular state. Every religion has rights. So one person will not come to suppress the other religion. We will not allow those happen. We want all of us to coexist as we coexisted over the time. So, I mean, we demonstrated here. President Taylor came and brought the people to justice, and we went through the investigation. In subsequent time, he should have even gone to the ECOWAS meeting in Burkina Faso, but he was unable to go. And then he called a meeting at his residence. And then I was invited there. But the way in which I was invited, I don't think people
we having trouble with the audio
that way, because the late Sheikh Kafuma Kone, and then immediately President Taylor came in and said, look, we don't have no two roosters in this country. We have only one rooster. So if I crow, no other rooster crow. I said, so it be, Mr. President. But at least when the rooster is about to crow or it begins to crow, the rooster should equally understand you shouldn't crow on the right of the other people. So he said he wanted me to announce that night that the demonstration we planned should be canceled. And I said, no, President Taylor, we can't cancel the demonstration right now. And Sheikh was sitting, may his soul rest in peace. So we went over 45 minutes of argument. Star Radio called and said, oh, President Joe,
oh man, I'm afraid we're having a bad audio.
We're going to close our radio station because it's like after 12. And then President Taylor said, radio remain closed until the network.
Okay. So, brother Manssalay, are you hearing me? Are you hearing me good?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now. Sorry, it's a network problem.
Yeah,
so he said the radio station was closed. And the radio station remained closed. And then he said I should make an announcement. And I said, no, I couldn't make an announcement. That night, the announcement was made by the late Sheikh Kafuma that the demonstration should cancel. And that morning, I went home. Before I get home, they asked me to go. And I told them, I said, I never brought myself. All the ministers and directors had left. How do you expect me to go with a bunch of armed men everywhere? So in case I disappear or something happened to me. So we leave rambling until he and Mr. Sisse, his chief of protocol, came outside and said, no, you leave the man. He asked Mr. Sisse, you can take this man home. Okay, and then they escorted me and went home. So these are things that we all need to learn for. Because if you are a Muslim and you stand for a cause, you must stand for justice, you must stand for freedom, and you must make people to understand. And in that time, we all fled the country. When the September 18 came about, other went, Peru, Kekula, and other people who were part of the concerned Muslim went to the United States, and subsequently I went to Conakry, and we couldn't stay in this country. We came back again, and we formed something we call the Concerned Mandingo Society, Comas. Comas, above that time, they have the rock wall, they have the mosque being burned in red light, and it was just had to scatter everywhere, arresting people. And we went on the radio to say, look, this thing shouldn't continue. If the people that are causing problem and they are not be fair. So we went on the demonstration. Judy Bryant called his security advisor at that time was the former police director, I think Joe Meyer. He called all to the NSA and we discussed and they released our people to us, and subsequently we moved on. Again, we came to the Islamic Solidarity. The Islamic Solidarity, the vice president today, Madam Jua Howard Taylor and others came out to say they want to make Liberia a Christian nation. How could you make Liberia a Christian nation when you met Liberia an Islamic nation? Because under the Kondo Confederation, which Sal Boso Kamara was the head of, he was a Muslim and was governed by a Muslim leader. So if we try to coexist and try to put away the differences, one person shouldn't come in and want to create problem, maybe because of political reason or when some political popularity. So we said, oh, Madam President, Madam Vice President, then she was senator, this thing is not going to work. We straight mobilized our people. We have a successful conference in Singe, Grand Cape, Makante for 3 consecutive days. In that conference, when I was supposed to go, there was an order to have me arrested at Clay. And later on, I got the information. I got on the MTA buses. I mean, the Killer Bean, those school buses that America use, yellow buses. And when I went, so they couldn't see me. When we had the program on Friday, the superintendent of Grand Cape Makante, Alagi, was dismissed, and the police director for Operation AB Proman was subsequently dismissed. And we went and have the program and prepared a resolution. And the resolution was brought to Monrovia. And I see Monday Tuesday or Wednesday, we're supposed to take a resolution at the Capitol building. They started to check for document of time. But we mobilized our people, and we have more than 20 to 25,000 human beings at the Capitol building. And we subsequently present the resolution to the Capitol building and tell them that we doesn't want Liberia be a Christian state, let it be a multi-religion state or a secular state. With the involvement of the United Nations, we went into the process. We traveled to Vietnam, Geneva. Subsequently, we went to Abuja. Today, we have a referendum with no proposition 24. I mean, we did a lot. So some of these things have to be said for our people to understand the contribution we made to society. This was not only done for Muslims, it was done for Liberia, it was done for the right of everybody so that we can peacefully exist and we can come together to be a people of one nation, one people.
Thank you. And thank you to the fellow who turned the generator on so we can see you a little more clearly now. So there's power electricity in the house. But electricity is a beautiful thing. You know, current is really beautiful. I mean, whether you like it or not. So I want to, thank you for your expose. I do want to, take you on some of the things you mentioned quickly though. So you already had the concerned Muslim youth of Liberia that was dealing with the branding of the mosque, in Nimba County and Lofa County. So then, why was Commerce? What you said? I heard you talk about your Commerce concerned Mandingo Youth Commerce was funded for what? So why was that? Why wasn't concerned Muslim youth sufficient to deal with similar situation in Monrovia, but in a different group has to be put together, this time not religious, but based on tribal sentiment. Why?
Well, this is something we have to look at carefully. Okay. And we have to make people to understand who is who and what role we can play in society.
Okay.
The issue here is we need to understand when that whole episode came, the concerned Muslim youth who were driven from out of the country, people went into exile. We all went into exile. And subsequently, when we came back, we formed the Concerned Mandingo Society. And in that Concerned Mandingo Society, you have others collaborating. Because when you use the word Mandingo, it's not only belong to Maninka people, Kwanyaka people. Because if you also see in Grand Cape Makante, you have the Manding Jallah chiefdom, the Mandingo people chiefdom. You get somewhere you call Maniva, the Mandingo people village. So you found out that the Mandingo people that established in Kishidugu, when they left from Mali after the overthrow of Massa Dankara Tuma, they subsequently moved in Sierra Leone, they call Kono, and then subsequently again in Liberia, you call them the Va. You find Sherry, the Bidete, those are the same group of people. You understand? So it makes no difference. And they have that nomenclature as Muslim. So we need to come out to defend our integrity, to defend our right, because nobody else is going to do it for us but just ourselves. And in the process of doing so, we have to make our brothers to understand that these people who want to bring the problem among us, they are the problem maker. We want to come together as we coexisted over the time to keep moving forward in unity, prosperity, so that we can move on in progress.
Okay, I get that part. But you will still agree with me, though, that it sounds like commerce, the formation of commerce was somehow a duplication of, the concern. As far as function, the nomenclature, is very distinct. I get that. Concerned Muslim youth versus concerned Mandingo. But the function, as far as the objective for which the two is funded, I mean, it's the same, right? You are all trying to resist and fight the same ideas and concept, and activities. Is that correct? Hello? Did you hear me?
Yes. Everything just like go in line. That's why similarly we have the Islamic solidarity. This Islamic solidarity is all about Muslims coming together, working together in solidarity with others, because in the Islamic solidarity, we had a problem at the time, like with the Liberia Christian Council, headed by Dr. Reverend Jasper Nambala. But in the process, we came together, we worked together for peace. We did all lot of peaceful things together. That's that Reverend Nambala have become a good friend to me. There's nothing he does in Liberia today without informing me, I'm Manding Jallah. I will go there, we'll work together. We met the Chief Justice when there was a problem among the legislator and the judiciary. We tried to resolve those matters. And when there was a problem between the legislator and more, they said they had some differences and other things, we went in and we tried to settle the differences. So we also believe that the religious leaders have to have their part to play. But while it's true they have to have the part to play, they also have to recognize the existence of one another. And if that is done with the respect given to one another, then we can work together in harmony.
So what did your institution, since in fact you've been meeting, mediating and meeting with a lot of stakeholders at different times for different reasons. So I didn't hear much about your institution when it came to the impeachment of a sitting legitimately, sitting Supreme Court associate who happened to be one of our own. So I didn't hear much about your institution. What did you do there?
we did a lot. Okay, when the impeachment proceedings started, I personally visited Justice Janet at his residence. We sat down because I wanted to understand what was really happening from his side. What I was listening to on the radio was one thing, and we sat down. We understood ourselves. I went to Lofa and other places to talk to our people, and we mobilized. We now start engaging. And then we went to the legislature. The Chief Justice himself said that this whole situation here is he can't do anything because he's the only one that have to preside. And when he's presiding, you also have to taking a decision. And I said, if you are presiding and the decision you want to hold Justice Janet to, you and Justice Janet are all signatory to this decision. So when you also step aside as you want Justice Janet to do so, he said, but he can't answer that question. And these was things that happened, which was not right. Okay, but I mean, this government, if they want to do anything where I don't think they are looking at what is right, what is wrong, they just want to do things that, what pleases them.
Okay, let's make progress. So you also mentioned in your piece that you wanted to talk about the reason or the opposition to Dr. Alassane Conte becoming president of the University of Liberia. I'm not sure from the little background investigation I did on that matter. I think it's been a long-standing tradition that for anybody to become president of the University of Liberia, the person must have at least graduated from there. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm not talking about your PhD or master, but at some point in time, you must have attended and graduated from there. But someone tells me that Dr. Alassane Conte is not a graduate of the University of Liberia, and so his opposition was well within, the historical reference of the university. But we like to think that at least it is my opinion that you think he was opposed simply because he's a Mandingo man. What have you to say to that? Hello?
Well, okay, if you went this way, what Dr. Alassane Conte graduated from the University of Liberia, he remained a bona fide Liberian. And then he served as a vice president for academic affairs, and he was accepted. And this thing went through until his nomination as you call it, as president. Mm-hmm. So you can't come now and say you don't want people to sign Arabic on your diploma, or you don't want people to say, no, if he doesn't have the qualification and he doesn't merit the position, that's one thing. But he's overqualified. So you can't deny him because he's a Mandingo or he's a Muslim. So we said, no, this thing was not going to work that way. Other instructors say they were going to put down their pen and pencil, their chalk. They are not going to go to class. I say, hey, look, you got to understand. You have to go to class because you have the responsibility to teach Liberians and promote more Liberians as future leader. But you can't stop Dr. Conte because you have to give a legitimate reason why Dr. Conte don't supposed to be a president of the University of Liberia. We had a program at Jacobtown at the mosque and called the Muslim. And then the U.S. ambassador was there. And we took a decision that if Dr. Conte will not be the president of the University of Liberia because he's a Mandingo man, then forget it. We'll keep the University of Liberia out. Let it be shut down and you can give a reason why he cannot. The U.S. ambassador then invited us. We sit down, we had a discussion. That when he came by, he said Dr. Conte should be. And then it was there. He was endorsed into office, and subsequently he served as president of the University of Liberia until today to the Republic of Nigeria, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So some of those things we need to come in to step in high, or else our right would be denied. And look, let me tell you something, brother. I can't remain sitting and know that I have a right to exist, and you tell me, say, I can't exist, whether I don't understand that I will exist.
Thank you. It look like LEC left us again, right? Your background has gone really dark. The way the current LEC left again. There you go. That's so much for development. So again, folks, if you're just joining us, it is my pleasing pleasure to welcome you all to the Liberian Diaspora Forum Weekly Talk Show. Today with me, I have a very knowledgeable. I'm saying this without any reservation, and some of you are also stating that, writing that on our show, your post. Very knowledgeable, very much well involved, concerned, brother of our own, brother Mohamed Manssalay, aka Manding Jallah. When he approached me to come on the show, I did a little research about him, and I was amazed to see how many events, how many videos that there are on Facebook, on YouTube, the activities, and I listened to some of his speeches, and I was just overwhelmed. I was like, wow, I didn't know. I've heard the name Manding Jallah many times, but I've done high interaction with him. So, but I did a little bit of research, and here we are today. So I want to thank you for joining us, but we do want to encourage you to share this video as much as you can. And unfortunately, we started a little late, a little behind time, so we don't have a whole lot of time, but I think we still have enough time to talk about some important stuff. So thank you for being here. And he's talking about a whole lot of issues concerning the Mandingo, the Muslim, and Liberia as a nation. Let's be clear about that. Because every time our people hear about Mandingo, people talking about Mandingos, they feel intimidated. They feel we're being tribalistic. They feel that means we want to talk against them. You can talk about yourself as a tribe without talking against the next tribe. Don't you agree, Brother Manssalay? You can talk about a relation without necessarily, looking down. And so there's nothing wrong with self-love. There's nothing wrong with self-preservation. In fact, that's the law of nature. First preservation. What do you think, Brother Manssalay? Hello?
No, that's right. You have to be there, because that's why I'm called Manding Jallah. Whenever you hear the name Manding Jallah, you recognize me as a Mandingo man, and I'm very proud to be a Mandingo man, and I'm grateful to Allah for making me a Mandingo man. So I will have to use that. So if you don't know yourself, you cannot affiliate and associate with others. You have to know yourself. You have to know what you stand for. You have to know what you are about. Then you can associate with other people with your right being protected. You can't even respect other people's right when you don't know your own right. I mean, so I'm not saying it's a wrong one. It's a wrong thing. And then if I just tell you, say, working with the Liberia Christian Council and the International Peace Ambassador and other things, we did all the visiting with Dr. Richard Tolber and other people. We went to the Carter Center. We did a lot of peaceful job. Okay, so whenever they come, they say, look, what's the Muslim community? What's the leader? They call me. We move there. I set up a delegation. We go. The Christian community come. We work together. We put our idea together today, like moving this stage. I can remember when the CDC-led government came together. I was on the Army radio or the ECOWAS radio, and they asked me, say, look, what do you think about this government? I said, look, let me tell you something. This government, we are all on one flag, and President Wiana is piloting the flag. So if we can help him to pilot the flag properly, when the flag done, we all will become victims. So we all need to make our contribution to help, provided he's willing for us to help the play we have. So we can't do anything to destabilize Liberia or to make Liberia look bad. So you can't go against me because I call myself Mandingo. That God created me as a Mandingo man. So I have to be proud to be a Mandingo man. When I'm identified as a Mandingo man, then I can make my contribution to society.
Thank you. Well stated. Thank you, folks. And I'm taking all. I mean, I'm not sure if I'll read all of your comments, but some of them are of interest to me. So I may, time permitting, I might ask a few of your concerns that you're raising, that you've tested to me. Inshallah, hopefully we'll have time to do so. You also mentioned the issue of voter registration. You said during Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf time, there were Mandingos denying registration, voter registration. Now, just so you know, I was in Liberia right around election time when people were being registered to vote. And that issue came up a few times. I even heard that some Mandingo people, voter registration cards were seized from them at various checkpoints between Monrovia and Guinea. Some of them were not able to defend their voter cards, just as their national ID cards now. And immigrations will seize it from them because they can't speak to their expectation. So I'm saying this, when this issue came out, I brought this issue up with the then Associate Justice, Kabina Janet, Honorable, who was a very regular visitor to Kerry Street at Tai base. When I brought the issue, he asked me to bring evidence. He said, bring evidence that Mandingo people voter registration cards were seized from them, their national ID cards, and then you will get me to work with. So my question is, how much, to what extent, when Mandingo denies voter registration, and how is that issue being handled, Mr. Keita? Hello? Folks, the internet is not so good in Liberia. I need not tell you that. So there's a little bit of delay. Sometimes it takes time before Mr. Manssalay is heard. Mr. Brother Manssalay, can you hear me? Hello? Brother Manssalay? Well, I can see him. You can see him, right? So I don't know why happened. Just internet issue. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, did you hear my? Do you want me to repeat the question, or you heard it?
No, I heard it. I heard it because I have an idea. An idea. You see, if somebody tell you to give evidence, because I serve as Assistant Commissioner for Administration, the Bureau of Immigration and Naturalization, and being the chairman of the Concerned Mandingo Society, I travel from Monrovia as far as Ban.
Okay.
When I got to Mangibi, they were stopping Mandingo from registering, saying that they don't speak good English. But obviously, you found people in Mangibi that day that couldn't speak simple English. Not a dot of English was being spoken by them. They could translate in Pele, and they will issue them the voter registration card. But when the Mandingo man come, he speak the English, and you say that the English is not sounding fine, you want to deny him. Why you want to deny him? Is Mandingo not a Liberian darling? Pele is also a Mandingo Liberian darling. Mandingo is a Liberian darling. The same way you have that in Bonkante and Gio and Mana is Liberian darling. So you can't deny people from speaking. Our old people, when they come, that's the language they speak. That's how they speak their own English. You have to accept them. So we have to engage the process to make sure these people register. Interim, when suppressed by us, they will do the registration. In subsequent time, when our people are ready to travel, it will try again to remove the voter registration card from there. I have gone to Salada Gate and went into the drawer and saw social voter registration card for Mandingo people. And I said, no, you can't do this to our people. How many Pele people on here? How many Bassa people on here? Why are you taking the Mandingo people on? This is not fair.
Okay. The internet is okay.
I have to take one evidence, but then I think I have evidence and I have sufficient evidence. And all the people that did them, I know most of them because I served the immigration before. So I mean, these are things that we have to play our role. We don't just have to sit there and say we are Liberian, we are Mandingo, and cannot make our contribution to society. Of course, I'm not one. Take it or leave it. That's who I am.
Okay. Okay. So thank you for that. I mean, we really haven't kind of breaking on and off, but that's not your fault. That's on internet technology. In fact, from what I'm sensing now, I have to appeal to you. I have to ask you, please, I want to appeal to you to find time, find it in your heart and find time so we can do another show, because it looks like, this is turning out to be a lot more interesting than I thought, just by what I'm hearing and the comments that I'm reading here. So we don't have all of the time, but I'd definitely like to have you back on this platform in a very near future. If that meets your approval, I just want to put that out there. So, so the question I want to ask though, so is that a yes to that? Is that a yes, sir? Can we do that?
Sure. I will be willing to do so.
Thank you, Brother Manssalay. Thank you. So I want to ask you though. So it sounds like what is the concern Muslim youth, concern Mandingo youth, Mandingo voter registration cards, being, seized, Mandingo national ID card being seized. So, but I want to know, you said, when I asked you why we're talking about issues that are belated, you said because historically it's necessary for people to know where we've been in order to know where we are and to understand where we headed to. So do you know, did you learn, have you understand, try to study by chance as to why went wrong? Why there's so much deep-seated hatred against the Mandingo ethnic group of all the 16 tribes? What are we doing wrong? What have we done wrong? Most importantly, how can we remedy it? How can we fix the wrong?
This is just simple thing we understand, okay? Because this is how Liberia came to be. When the pioneers came to Liberia, and you realize that in the 18th century, the American Colonization Society said they made two tribes, the Grebo and the Mandingo, or the Mohammedanism. Okay, they get a religion they call the Mohammedanism, and they are civilized. So the Congo people was able to Christianize the other, and the Mandingo people was not able to be Christianized. So what happened? They went against the Mandingo. So people just saw Mandingo to be a different group of people. That's why a lot of Liberians, even the instructor, the professor at the University of Liberia, so naive too, will stay there and say, is Mandingo people Liberian? So you just leave the better boss seller and other things. I'm talking to a professor in the classes of the University of Liberia. I have listened to some of them saying it. I told Dr. Zek one time, I said, look, your history are incomplete because, you are not fair in doing them. He said, look, don't tell me that. I said, I will tell you that because for what I read, some portion of them is you don't want to complete them. And if you don't recognize the Mandingo people and are existing in Liberia, then every history you wrote are incomplete. So these are problems we face. But now we ourselves too have our own problem. We are not prepared to write, to come to light, to make people to understand who we are, what is our history, what is our role in Liberia, what is our participation, what we did. So these things have to be done. Even if the course of it to be taught in Islamic school, and then we now engage the Liberian government and legislators for some of the book to be taught in government school, so people will have to understand and will be able to remove this notion of Mandingo being a foreigner. No, Mandingo is not a foreigner because it's Mandingo people that fought to contribute to make Liberia what it is today. General Abraham Sisi from the Grand Cape Country, followed by King Sal Boso Kamaras and other, and then Prince Mamadou Kamara. These are people that made Liberia an open corridor today for Liberia to be what it is today. So if you cannot recognize the effort of the Mandingo people, then their history is not complete. So we need to do it ourselves.
So with so many educated Mandingo people, therefore, the likes of Dr. Alassane Conte, Dr. Mohamed El Sharif, and on and on and on. So why or when, should I say, are we going to start writing our own history to highlight Mandingo's contribution to the formation of the nation called Liberia, and also maybe mount pressure on the minister, on the whatever government of the day, to ensure that that such history is taught in schools? Why Mandingo people, or when should I say, are we going to consider the idea of writing our own history?
Okay, but we need to really come together. We need, because it's not everybody that need to do that. I spoke with Professor Ahaji Krumah the last time, and he told me he wrote some books, and I saw some copy, and I told him, Professor Krumah, now the stage you're reaching, can you add other people to you so that you can make this book and write these books to come out as quickly as possible? Then all can learn from you and follow your legacy. He said, okay, this thing. So we need to do a lot. Even myself, including myself, I'm trying to write a little I can to be able to put it out there. And then maybe I will send you a copy to also see and make your contribution, because I love Mandingo so much, and I want the contribution of the Mandingo people to be knowing, to be out, to be learned in school, so Liberians can forget about all the big differences and other things. But I don't want to hold them responsible because they don't know what they are doing. When people don't know what they are doing, they are ignorant of what they are doing, so they are just in error and thinking that they are doing the right thing. They're equally so for us who call ourselves educated Mandingo people. I mean, the occupied positions and other things, don't want to come down to think about doing some of those things. If you find the Mandingo minister, the associate justice and other things, you go to your house, you got to go through all the formality. I don't want to talk to the people. I'm too busy. I'm doing it. How can you be busy for yourself, for what you're supposed to do for your community? Your people send you to school to learn, to be able to help, to make a change, to make it different. And if you can't do that, our leaders are responsible. Honestly, for me, I stand to be corrected.
Mr. Keita, though, is it fair, though, in all honesty, is it fair to say that now all Mandingos are Liberians? Is that fair to say? Because it gets to all of us when people say Mandingo people are foreigner, because it's so sweeping, it just cuts across. But is it fair to say that not every Pele person in Liberia is a Liberian, not every Gio in Liberia is a Liberian, not every Crown, and by extension, not every Mandingo in Liberia is a Liberian Mandingo? Is it fair to say that? Would you have problem with somebody saying that?
No, sure. Like me, when the war came about and I went to Guinea, I mean, Mandingos were there calling me Liberian, and I was proud of that because I am a Liberian. They was a Guinean. So I mean, you have the man from JK coming to Liberia, and you will call them Liberian. No, some of them are not Liberian. Some man are Liberian, some are Guinean. The same way with the Gio, the Jagoba. The same way you have the Bete, the Baule, the Grebo, the Crew. But this history has not been taught. Some people don't know the Jagoba, the Bete, the Baule. Who are those people that Grebo, the Gere? So they're only looking at the Mandingo. No, all other tribes. The Liberia is a land of migration. Nobody was born here. Neither anybody was planted and grew up here. People migrated here. Some came after the other. So we are all Liberian, and we contributed to making Liberia what it is today. So
but where do you draw the line, though? Where do you draw the line between our brothers and sisters who are of Ivorian, identity, Guinean, Gambian, or whatever? When it comes to Liberia, there's no distinction. It's Mandingo. So, but don't you think that the presence, the constant arrival of those people, it's not making your fight any easier? Because clearly, when they see them, some of them are even proud of their Guinean identity. They are proud of that while they live in Liberia. And yet, when they are referred to as Guinean, they can call themselves Guinean. The culture, everything about them, even when you check their social media posts, pages, they identify themselves as being a Guinean. But when somebody else calls them that, they get offended. So don't you think that those people too are helping to make your fight difficult?
No, those things we need to understand them, and these things will have to happen. The issue there is the Mandingo history is clear. In the sub-region, because you had three greatest empires in Africa. You had the Zulu Empire in the West. You have the Asian Arab Empire in the Arabian and the Central. Then you have the Manding Empire in the West. So you then realize that all the tribes you found here, we are all part of the Manding Empire. So if you find out that by migration, some of the tribe changes and speak other dialect, you don't understand. We are almost all just the same set of people. Religion is the one that's what matters, because people believe that Mandingo people are Islam. Other tribes are not there. And then these are some of the mistakes we made. Over the time, Islam is for everybody. The Prophet was sent to humanity, to the whole world. So we as Muslims need now to take Islam out to the people so they can understand. Because if they understand that Islam is for everybody, it's not only for Mandingo people, then they will be erasing some of the notions from their heart. Then they will now begin to realize that you get brother in Liberia, you get brother in Arico. You get currency in Liberia, you get nephew in Arico. You get uncle in Liberia, you get uncle in Guinea. You get uncle in Liberia, you get uncle in Sierra Leone. So, okay. This is how this thing look, and this is how it works.
So when uncle comes from Sierra Leone or Ivory Coast, there should be no distinction. They should fit right in. Just you went to Guinea, you were referred to as refugee. Liberian, right? So there was some distinction there. So, but why? So, but you think that it's okay because of the empire, because of historical fact that when your uncles come from Guinea, they come from Ivory Coast, it should be okay for them to just be considered and declared Liberian. Period. Is that your view? Is that your view?
No. You can't be a Liberian. There's the rules governing you being a Liberian, and there's the rule governing you being a Guinean, Sierra Leonean, Malian, and you named it, because it's same thing happening. If you just ask the senator, how you call it, the speaker of the House, Honorable Buffer Chimber from Maryland, and if you just cross to the Ivory Coast, he has relative, but they are not Liberian, they are Ivorian, and he's Liberian.
Right.
So that will not stop the relationship. But you have to understand we are Liberian and others are Guinean, others are Sierra Leonean, and others are Ghanaian. But I mean, the way it's been taken by others, brothers here, that Mandingo people, no, that's not an issue. And why you think is all Mandingo people? Because the kind of people Mandingo people are, the contribution they made to Liberia. So they others understand that these Mandingo people, because the ACL, according to the report, that if you want to conquer the natives in Liberia, you got to deal with the Mohammedanism, which is the Mandingo people, because they are civilized and they intelligent and they have the religion they call Mohammedanism. So this notion in the minds of the people always think that they should separate themselves from the other set of people, which is the Mandingo people. So we need now to open up to erase that notion, work with them, collaborate with them, be able to help them, guide them in the process, and then so that gradually we can get there.
Interesting. I think something that I have thought all along. It seems to me that you kind of inferring, kind of almost some sort of in agreement with that too, without you even saying it. I think the whole idea of political subdivision, these so-called sovereign nations, I think it was a political blunder. Africa, especially West Africa, was good the way it was. And I still don't understand why. For some reason, I tend to daydream about USA, not USA as United States of America, but United States of Africa, USA. I know that's not that's far from I don't know. It's not going to happen. I mean, certainly not in our lifetime. But I think the idea of separating uncles and nephews, nieces, cousins, same family across political line, was just a mistake. And as a result, we'll continue to fight the consequences of it, until who knows when. And that's what it is. Like you rightly put it, every tribe in Liberia, has got, extended family members across the border, except for maybe, the Kru people. I'm not sure, but even in Ghana, right? But, the Kram, Gio, Minor, Pele, Gisi, you name them. Except for Bassa people, I can't think of Bassa people anywhere near, No, excuse me, Brother Kafuma. Yeah. You see the issue of the Bassa people. The Bassa people are from Douala in Cameroon. Okay. They travel to Nigeria, and you find them in Grand Bassam in the Ivory Coast, and subsequently in Liberia. They also migrated from somewhere to come here. That's why I'm saying you have the Mamba and other people. So these things, we all have some connection somewhere outside. And then we all came here to make Liberia what it is today. So we need to understand that this is a land of migration. And the only way this nation can move forward, we have to hopefully, wholeheartedly accept one another and be pleased with one another, respect one another. That's part of your tribal, religious differences. And then so that Liberia can move forward. Until we can do that, we will keep going this way, and Liberia will go 200 years and we don't see anything happening, simply because I'm thinking that the Mandingo men are supposed to be here. So whether it go forward or not, my suggestion, my idea is the Mandingo men shouldn't go here. So whether the man that is going there is the real person, he can help to take Liberia forward, I don't want to know. That's none of my business. So then we put Liberia last and put our self-interest forward. So it will keep dragging Liberia behind. So do you still work at immigration? I heard you say you had a deputy commissioner. Are you still there or you used to be there?
No, I'm no longer there. I'm a former commissioner, but
okay.
I sometimes call upon to make my contribution, and I do so.
That's fine. It's good. It's good. I mean, I just want to say something. I wanted to know if he's still there. So here's what I wanted to say about that. Now, may his soul rest in peace. The for falling Associate Justice in presence of Honorable Soko Sako, the former Pasoko. I understand that when Dr. Sawyer sent him to the immigration, to serve as immigration, I think I'm told he's on record as being the first Mandingo person to have served as a commissioner for the immigration in Liberia. And I also learned from somebody, when he passed recently, I kind of learned a lot about him, things I didn't even know. And by the way, I plan to have, a live memorial, for him on the show. I contacted some people to come and speak to his legacy, including the fact that he's believed to be the first Mandingo man to have sat on the bench and to have also served as the commissioner for the immigration. But when Dr. Sawyer sent him to the immigration, it was our understanding that Dr. Sawyer did so believing that that would have, addressed this issue of Mandingo, anti-Mandingoism. This idea of Mandingo people now from here, they are foreigner, the harassment. So my question is, in your memory, since in fact you also happen to have worked at the immigration, maybe not at that same time, but when you went there, whether it was after or one other time, did Soko, the late Soko, do anything that changed anything in that regard? Did he put some policies in place, or were there anything? Or is there anything you can remember that his service at the immigration, changed when it comes to the way the people view Mandingo people in Liberia?
But that's sure, because the first thing Brother Soko was able to do to sit as 300, sitting as 300 at the commission at the proper commission of immigration, you are erase the notion of Mandingo people not being Liberian, because the immigration is the one that is responsible with alien and nationality law. And they interpret.
He can't take credit for that. Dr. Sawyer should take credit for that. Yeah.
So if a Mandingo man sat there, then it makes a lot of clarity there. So when we get to the immigration, that's why people said then, oh, this guys was a little bit tough and other things. No, not that basically I was tough, but I wanted to put right in place to show them that this is what we stand for. And at certain times, some Ukrainian came at the airport. And I do realize that they came with passport, there were no airport visa. Then I received a telephone call. It said that the councilman said I should allow them in. And I said, no, I had the responsibility to do my job, because if anything goes wrong, I will be responsible. So I seized the passport and I brought them to the immigration and I kept them. And because they don't have the airport visa, I sent them out of the country. It was, I mean, a lot of people said it was wrong, it was disrespectful and other things, but it was the law, and we were trying to enforce the law, and that's why we were there for. And I mean, if everybody could just work in that line, that's why this person is who, or he came to this person, but put the law in place, then Liberia can move forward.
No, but
if we just consider all the small things that my boss man friend here, that my nephew friend here, and you want to backpass the laws, and
Brother Manssalay, I am saying, as far as the list of Sako serving as 300, which is Immigration Commissioner Code, that in itself is an achievement. I agree with you. But whatever achievement that is, the credit for that goes to the appointing authority, Dr. Sawyer, who broke that chain to say, you know what, I'm sending my... Hold on. When the Mandingo man sat there, when he sat there in that 300, post, what did he do, to change some of the the narrative, as far as how Mandingo people were being harassed or viewed? What did he do? Were there effort? What about him or you to recruit some Mandingo people into the force? What did he do basically? Besides just
there was a lot of effort, because through him we have to have the chief of statistics, Colonel Azata Kamara, the senior inspector, Colonel Kamara. You found the former senior inspector Jabate. Okay, you found other people was promoted, and they were all working actively, and I mean representing the immigration equally, and other people could call them their boss or bosses. So they then realize that, yes, we are all now the same, we are on the same table, and we are now discussing the future of Liberia. So he played his part. And when we two came, we play our role, and we started to employ others, open up the corridor, and then train them properly, then send them into the fees so that they have their own experience today. Today, if you go to the immigration, you find most of the Mandingo boys and other things, they are leaders, dollars and other people. So they have their own experience and they're making their own contribution. So today, if we just enter the immigration, you see everybody coming to us. Why? Because we play our role and open up that corridor. And we expect them to do their part, and as others will come so that gradually we can get there. So Omer Sako play his part, and then we follow his legacy, and we hope others will take it out from us too.
And so rest in peace indeed. Thank you. Just before we leave the immigration, not even leaving it, I just want to point out quickly that may his soul rest in peace, and thank you to him and to you for your service to our country. I want to particularly thank Brother Famo Kone, who served there. I think around the same time you were there. I want to thank him particularly because he's the one who recruited me at the immigration. I don't know if you know that. I was once an immigration officer. I had the privilege, of working there. I was recruited by Brother Famo Kone. I and my very good friend Vakaba Kuyate were both recruited, and we worked there. Though we're not. I was often referred to as AWOL because I was never around to do what I was supposed to do, but I had a badge, I had the title. So speaking of AWOL, though, I want to ask you about this. So it is also believed that perhaps one of the reasons why our people continue to be harassed, especially along, the Monrovia-Guinea border or all the other highways, is because our people themselves are not interested in public service. How many Mandingo men you have in the military? How many Mandingos you have in the immigration? I mean, you name few, but given the overall number of immigration, it's still too minute. How many Mandingo people you have in the police? I know a good number, but still not enough. I myself, my younger brother in Monrovia, when I went to Liberia a few years ago, I did everything for him to be recruited, and they did. He went to the academy halfway through. He came back and told me there's no money inside. The man went back to the garage. He like to be a mechanic. So can we not take some responsibility, some blame for as far as why we continue to be treated the way we are being treated in Liberia? Because we don't want to be part of the system that's treating us the way they are. Shouldn't we?
I want to agree to you, because even when I stand to the immigration, I employ a lot of our brothers. But then here was the problem. The salary was too small. Yes. The salary couldn't have done this for them. And I told them, you need to understand that you have to make some sacrifice, because you will not be everywhere at the same time. You are there for your people. You are there to make a difference. So the others that are there, you are not better than them. So you need to make a contribution. So our people are not ready. Why I must go to school and graduate from high school, graduate from university, and go be immigration man and sit there. But the others are doing it because the fee that they want to do, they want to serve their country. So we are not nationalistic. We want fast money. We want everything to be for ourselves. Sometimes when you call at the immigration and they say, come on, we have some meeting. We need your idea. We need your suggestion. I move in. I make my contribution. Okay. Some of them will come and say, oh, Chief, the recruitment going and this and that. When you try to push them forward after a certain time, they will now come to say, this is the problem. But how be it? I think gradually we are getting there, because most of the young folks are going in now and they are trying to understand the system and they are cooking out with the situation. It is not like before where our people fear that everything was all about money. No, it's not all about money. If everything was all about money, some of us won't be here now, because all the organization and activities we are doing, there's been no money. Traveling around the world and defending our religion and our tribe, we don't make it money. But at least we're making a contribution, we're making an impact, we're leaving a legacy for our generation to come. So if all can understand that and then take the responsibility to move into a public service area, we will do what we think we can do right. Most of our brothers now serving in police and other things, when they have the opportunity, I want to go to America, I resign. I want to go to Germany, I will resign. I want to go and make more money. But then going to make more money and your people need your service, the people need your contribution here in Liberia, and you deny them of that, and you only want to please your desire. So you have betrayed the cause of the struggle. I mean, so I talk to them most of the time. But hey, we will get there gradually.
I'm glad at least we agree on that one. So that's not much. Actually, we agree on that much. With just 30 minutes to go, it's 4:30. We agree we're going to do a 2-hour show with 30 minutes behind time. I will now inform you, let you, the viewers, know that I will open the phone lines, and the numbers are on my screen right before me. Obviously, if you know, the number on the screen is 612-481-5130. Once again, 612-481-5130. If you're calling from anywhere in the US or Canada. And if you are in Africa, you want to call, by all means, you can call us on WhatsApp. That same number, you just have to add plus one to that, right? +1 612-481-5130. +1 612-481-5130. That will be the WhatsApp number. Brother Amara Sayante Kamara wants to say hi to you. He said he worked with you on a number of projects before. He said you are a very good gentleman, a hard-working brother, one who is involved at every level when it comes to community matters. And I don't know if it's a coincidence, but Amara Kamara himself will be my guest sometime next week. I'm not sure if it will be Saturday or Sunday, but he's running. I don't know if he told you, he's running to be the next president for Kwadu Boni Manding Jallah Association in the US of A. So he was in Minnesota here not too long ago. He had the courtesy to stop by to see me and my family. He did just as he did with many other families in Minnesota. The young man is so respectful. So we'll have the pleasure of hosting him sometime next week. Once I schedule it, you'll get the information. I'm not sure if it'll be Saturday or Sunday, because Unity Party Chairman, USA, Canada, would also like to come. So we'll decide who wants to do Saturday, who wants to do Sunday. I just want to let you know that, and also let you know that the phone lines are open. But while we are waiting to see if any call comes through, I want to take you up on still on the same subject though. So if we agree that the reluctance on the part of our people, the greed for money, is contributing to us not being involved, and being part of the process that continue to humiliate our people, our national identity as a people. I will also argue that our disunity, our lack of unity, is contributing even bigger than anything else. So how do we move? What is going on when it comes to Mandingo unity? I want to whether it's in the US of A or it's in anywhere, but Liberia in particular, in the borderland. So how what effort is being made to bring our people together, and most particularly, how do you think we can get District 2 back? How can we unite behind one Mandingo candidate, just like we did when we got it one time with Sekou Kene? 2023 is right around the corner. What can we do to bring some set of some sense of reason, some sort of unity in order to get everyone behind one candidate, so that at least we can have some representation in the legislature? What do you think? What can be done?
The first thing I think we need to do is to be sincere to ourselves first. Because if you are sincere to yourself and sincere to your community, then I think you can do it. Because it's not everyone that is going to be a leader at once. That space is for one person. So, but if I'm sometimes shocked. Like District number 2, you realize up to today you have more than 4, 5, 6, 7 candidates who say they want to contest. After realizing that similar thing led the community down, and they are still coming in their number. So I don't even know what is the problem. It is that they want to be a representative, or they want to destroy the interests of our community. So I mean, we need to come together. But one of the biggest problems we have here is our religious leader. Our religious leader today, everybody takes side. The other person said that Uncle Kennedy here, he came to oil in the mosque and brought it. The other people say that Uncle Kennedy. And sometimes you want to talk and they say, no, he's the religious leader. No, this thing we all need to sit now. You have religious leader, you have youth, you have women, you have opinion leader, you have political leader. Let's get around the table. Take 1 week or 2 to be able to identify the problem and come together now to find solution. But sometimes you find they say we're coming to find peace. One day conference, You call everybody, go and express themselves and turn their back and go. I don't think there's anything serious they are doing. So we need now to come to ourselves and be sincere to ourselves. Love ourselves and love our community. Love our country and say that this is what we want to do. We set up a panel of professional people, of intelligent people, people with integrity. Give them some time so that they can work overtime and come back to the community with something. Then we now start working on things. But if we can't do that and we just want to do this, I think it will become a problem. If everybody feel that somebody has hurt me before, I must also hurt them, you are not hurting them. You are hurting the entire community, including yourself. So we now need to realize that if you hurt anyone or does wrong to anyone politically, you are offending yourself and offending your generation to come. So everybody can serve as one. Let's be honest and be sincere. Let's come together. Let's set up the panel. Let's discuss our future. And I think from there we can make solutions.
So that's good. I mean, it's a terrible situation. It's a big issue. I mean, but I like your approach. I mean, so obviously we need to talk in order to find a way forward. I agree with that. So I want to take. So look, I want to talk about. I want to bring out the issue of Musa Belete, who's been elected as the chairman for the Liberty Party. In my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong. Apart from ICO, I think he's one of very few, if not the only Mandingo man, to be selected as the chairman, national chairman for a major political party in Liberia, a relevant one, because Liberia got so many political parties. In my opinion, there are some that are not relevant. But you would agree with me, Liberty Party is a relevant, a major political party. And so one of our brothers has risen up to the position of a national chairmanship of that party. So what can we as Mandingo people do to support that individual? How do we rally around, to prove to those who selected him? I'm sure now with many of us involved, how do we come to be a part of that process so that one day we may be at the decision-making table, deciding the fate of Liberia, including our tribe, the Mandingo?
Well, that's a good thing you say, but I would like to paraphrase the question. What can Musa do to bring his community closer to him? Okay. It is that he's going to sit there when you go to see him and he's too busy, he's too engaged to see you, and then how can you make a contribution? Because the leader have to make himself accessible to the community. He have to open up to the community, and he have to have people view. So if you just sit there and don't want to talk to other people, I wrote Musa a communication up to now here to receive replies from him. And it doesn't work that way. So if he does that, then I'm not going to go there to beg you to say we want to do this. So you don't have to trust yourself. You have to believe in other people. You have to trust other people. And collectively, you can come together to make a difference because you are not fighting for yourself. You are fighting for the entire community. So you have to listen to us. You have to listen to other viewers. You have to listen to other opinions leaders. And we all can come together to support your agenda, push you forward so that we all can go forward. So, I mean, Musa himself too should be ready. He'll be ready to open up to the community, and then so the community can come to him, and then we can move forward. But if we can't open up, it will be difficult. And people will not want to understand. They will say that people don't want to come to Musa. You go to Musa. Musa must be ready to receive you. Musa will be able to sit with you, and you must be able to talk and move forward.
But Manssalay, we got exactly 21 minutes to go. I'll take the 1 minute for break so I can let you have a glass of water, and then we'll come by and spend the remaining 20 minutes together, inshallah. Thank you. Let's take a mini break, get a cup of water.
This country is not about education. It's about what the Liberian people needs. Our needs and wants. The leader that can provide all the best praise, look at your homes, look at your villages. You are living in huts. If book and English can develop country, Liberia is supposed to be the best country in the world.
Let's talk about 104 million.
Liberia is a small country in West Africa, as you know, and like a lot of small countries, they print their money abroad and then they ship it into the country. It's just cheaper to do it that way. So at some point last year, the Central Bank of Liberia ordered...
If you want to, in a sense, eliminate corruption in a society, and we all want to eliminate corruption in a society, the most effective way to do it is to make sure you don't punish people at the bottom, you punish people at the top. I'll tell you one story. In the 1960s, when Singapore was a very poor country then, our per capita income was 500. A government minister was invited by a businessman to go on holiday, just on holiday, no bride. He and his family went on holiday with a businessman. He came back, he was arrested, charged, went to jail. After that, no more corruption. Because it's a very powerful signal that is sent when you go after someone at the top. So Singapore's experience, and it's actually quite remarkable.
IMF, World Bank, all other institutions, they make African countries jump through hoops. Loans will never be able to pay. The US, when they borrow money, they're getting it in 1.5, 1.9 interest rate. Africans, when they get the same amount of money, they're paying 9, 10%. The people who don't need a break, they get a break. The ones who need a break, they don't get a break. The sheer survival.
We're forgetting that we need each other. We're forgetting that we need to look out for each other. We're forgetting that except the least of us is taken care of, that the best of us cannot survive. We're forgetting that.
All right. Good evening again. I'm talking to 6. That's one thing here. Okay. All right. Good evening to all of you who are here now or will be here later when we are done. I want to thank you for taking the time now to view the show, or for taking your time to view the show after the live broadcast. I've said that many times. Either way, whether you hear now or you view it later, we still appreciate it. We are grateful. We thank you. And anytime you have the pleasure of viewing it, please do us a favor, share the show, all the time. We appreciate that. And remember, this is your all-time favorite the Liberia Diaspora Forum weekly talk show. So I had the privilege of hosting Brother Mohamed Manssalay, aka Manding Jallah, and so we found a little bit of a heated conversation, if you will. Though we started late, but I've also asked him to reschedule a meet sometime in the very near future so that we can do this different. Maybe because I'm noticing the conversation is getting better, so we can start a little earlier. We can deal with all of the technical issues, beforehand, so we can start on time next time, so that all of you who wish to have an input can do so. In the meantime, we have less than 20 minutes to go, and I do want to let you know that next weekend, sometimes we'll have Brother Amara scientist will be coming to speak to issues affecting Kwadu Boni Madina's situation, of which he wants to be president. And also Chairman Capel Doyen of Minnesota, who is the chairperson for Unity Party USA and Canada as well, may join us sometimes next weekend as well to discuss national politics. Hopefully I can find time in between to do some my usual housekeeping, which include discussing some current events in Liberia, including the COVID-19 that is so devastating, to our people at this time. So we'll now return to Brother Manding Jallah, with his finishing thoughts, and then we'll call it a night because we have other activities to do. I have a meeting to go to. I have a barbecue to go to as well. Not to mention it's getting later in Liberia. Brother Manssalay, let me come back to you by beginning with COVID-19. How are our people handling the COVID-19? Allegedly, the emergence of a different variant of COVID-19 that is believed to be more deadly. How is the nation dealing with it? And more specifically, how are our people, the Mandingo people and Muslim people, dealing with it, as far as you know?
Okay. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to also extend my greeting and appreciation to our chairman in waiting for the quadruple voting, Amara Sayante, because he has been a very strong man. And I encourage all of our people to make sure that they elect him because he's a good leader. He stands for what he stands for, and I think he can make a difference for us. Okay, with the issue of the COVID-19, you know that, like I rightly said, the first outbreak, we collaborated with the Liberia Christian Council and the International Church of Jerusalem on Dr. Fala when he was MFA director. So we make a lot of contribution and went around the country and be able to talk to our people, educate our people, go into the mosques and churches. I mean, explains to them and how can they protect themselves, use the nose mask, be able to wash their hands. And you need them. We have jingles and other activities all around to be able to guide them and be able to talk to securities to be able to do their works. And of course, we have some experience, security experience and been working with the immigrations and other things. So but as of today, I mean, they are trying to do their best, but we want the government to do a little bit more because you can't keep talking without action. I mean, this virus is very high. That's why I have to take my time sometimes, pray to the other mosques, make sure I'm able to pray to the other mosques. And sometimes like somebody tell me, hey, Monday, you bad, your whole team business, what you saw. I think it's serious because if you see the death rate compared to before, it's different. So when you come into the mosque, go and take your ablution, use your nose mask. You don't know who you're standing by. Give social distancing and make sure that you are protected and others are protected from you so that you can be able to pray and then lead the rest with Allah to, protect all of us. But you have to follow the health protocol, the health procedure. So we are doing our best to be able to talk to our community, and as soon as possible, we'll be engaging other radio stations like the Freedom FM and others so that we can be able to explain to our people, not only our people, but other tribes, other Liberians, so that they should take this matter serious. And we encourage the health minister and the MFA director to move a little bit further than what they're doing. Let them go out there. Let them be able to educate the people. Let them be able to have meetings with the joint security and be able to tell them what to do. Let them go to the border site. Because, Liberia has so many borders. If you talk about Liberia gaining borders, you can't able to control everything. But at least talking to the communities and other things, and then leaving the community to be able to talk to other people and collaborating with the security, I think we can do much about that. But I don't think we have gone that far for right now. So I think we need to go a little bit further and be able to do a lot to be able to help ourselves and help our country.
We are hearing that there are plans on the way to enforce lockdown a little more severely than it is currently. To borrow the words of Eugene Fagon, they need to do a serious lockdown, and the lockdown decision in the pipeline, we are told, may or could include the shutting down of our places of worship again. Have you heard about that? And if so, how our people are receiving such news? Are they prepared, or would they think they be prepared to do that for the second time in 1 year time?
Well, if government have that plan for now, they are not disclosed this to the public. And saying we left on there, they are not called up back to be able to work with us. Perhaps it's not all about money, but those that were doing the job before, if we call them back, we are all prepared to make sacrifice for the betterment of our country. So if the need rises, fine. But you should also take into consideration what people look for daily is what they take home to eat. Some people even go out, they don't get it to come home with it. So we need to look at the situation and be able to balance the equation as we're taking our decision. Or else a lot of people would go hungry for 1, 2, 3 days and no food to eat.
Okay. All right, brother Manssalay. Honestly, like I said, I wish we could carry this conversation a little further because I'm getting educated, and I don't know whether you also viewing the show. I'm kind of watching us here on live, and I'm reading a lot of comments under here. It looks like a lot of people are getting educated as well. But unfortunately, you know, everything must come to an end. Even the good things. The good things do come to an end, just as the bad things. And so, I'm afraid that we have exhausted, you know, almost all of the time we had allocated for today's show. The good news is we have agreed in principle that we're going to do this again. So, how about I come back to you for a departing comment? Give us a departing comment, a closing remark. Include whatever you wish to include, and so we can call it a night. Thank you.
Well, I say thank you so much. Thank to everyone. And I want to dedicate the show to my late wife, Fatimata DG Kruma, who passed out, and with the children are here with me in the house. I pray that Allah forgive her and give her Jannah. Allah continue to bless the children here with me. And I pray for her all the time. That's why we are able to build a mouse here in her honor. And we pray that Allah will reach that to her in her grave, inshallah. And I encourage all of us to work together, love one another, and then believe that we can work together. No one man is an island. We have to come together as a group of people, as a community, so that we can move the community forward. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you so very much, Brother Manssalay, and thank you to all of our viewers. May also rest in peace, and give my best regard to the kids. Tell them we are very proud of you, proud of them as well, and let this be the beginning. By the way, this is your platform. You know, anytime. So this is the way I approach the show business. I'm of the opinion, a friend believes that the show exists because of a few components. The audience come because there's a host. The host come because there's audience to relate to, and together the two come together because there's, you know, institution or, you know, materials, equipments put together. That's the one message, you know, I've taken all through my talk show live, whether it was the time I spent at Freedom FM or Prime FM or on the very platform. I believe that we all have a role to play. So this is your show. Don't wait for me to invite you. You invite yourself. Anytime you see the need, you, just like you did this time, shoot me an email, a text message, or whatever message, just say there's something we need to talk about. And I can assure you I'll make time for us to talk about it, inshallah. So thank you. Let's all have a good night. Here's the Liberia National Anthem as a farewell, you know, to all of us. Bye now. Yeah. All right. Bye. Good night.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.